Are you ready to make the leap into multifamily real estate investing, but you're not quite sure where to start? Well, you're in the right place. I've been investing in real estate for over 20 years, and we currently own over 3,200 units and over $400 million in assets. In this video, I'm going to break down the steps you need to take to launch your multifamily investing journey, and it may be easier than you think. First and foremost, let's talk about education and research, right? It's absolutely critical that any area you're going to move into, you've got to begin to learn both the basics of the foundation and more of the overall mastery of the information. And so it really comes down to connecting together through either investment courses, books, and mentors, right? I mean, I go back into my investing career and journey, and I had multiple mentors over the years. One of the first guys I worked with was a longtime real estate attorney and investor, and he began to mentor me. There was another family from church that I had connected together with, and they owned probably 1,000 plus units in multifamily. And so I began to learn from them how they acquired and owned multifamily apartments. Over the years, again, it's been a 20 plus year journey. I've had also different people that I've learned from that had more experience than me or more niche expertise than me. And then I've been a consummate reader, right? You're always taking in. I mean, one of the books I read from Sam Zell, he was one of the grandfathers of multifamily in investing who just recently passed away. And so there's a wonderful opportunity, but you've got to, one, research the people that you're dealing with. Right? We've been in an upmarket cycle, and so there's plenty of people that they've been in this for 3 years and can tell you how they've done well in the last 3 years or 5 years. You want to make sure that the people that you're learning from have real world experience in a full market cycle. You also want to acquire good information in books that are going to help you with the specific direction you're going to go. But education and research is a great starting point. Next, we are talking about building a team. It is absolutely critical when you're talking about investing and owning multifamily real estate. You've got to have a professional team. That starts with the real estate broker or agent that you're working with. It also includes a really world-class or institutional class property management company. It also deals with the attorney that you're going to be working with. You've got to have a great attorney as part of your team, both as a real estate attorney and typically if you're going to be raising funds, an SEC attorney. And then also the lenders. You've got to have the right lenders, or in fact, I would say mortgage broker, somebody who's going to be a part of your team and that's going to actively go out and be able to help you get the right types of loans. So, and again, when you reach out to these people, you need to, one, determine what geographic area you're going to concentrate in, and then begin to connect with the people that are best suited for that area. As an example for that, right? We are headquartered in Florida. We've got a base of operations with professional people here in Florida, both meaning the real estate professionals that we deal with, the attorneys that we deal with, and the property management teams that we deal with. We also have a concentration in the Southeast, meaning in Georgia, South Carolina, and also North Carolina. And so what we deal with in Georgia has sometimes different law structure than what it is here in Florida. So we have a legal team there in Georgia as well. So it's important to make sure that you've got the right team and you build it by adding A-class team members to your team. Next, let's talk about financing options. Financing is absolutely critical with multifamily investment. So you've got conventional loans, you've got Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, you've also got commercial loans through CMBS loans. There's regional banks that participate in it. So let's just take a look at it. So your conventional loans, you've got through a variety of different banks, bridge loans. Typically they give you at times a higher financing amount, typically historically. Now I'm going to use historical metrics. 80% of purchase costs, even 100% of renovation costs, and they have a variable rate loan. Now again, in today's moment in time that we've gone through a higher inflation, higher loan rate, some of those metrics have gone down. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, those are government-backed loans. They also would be in a range of historically 70 to 80%. Now today's standards a little bit lower. They offer fixed rate loan options where you can get interest only for a period and then a fixed rate for a period of 5, 7, 12 years with 30-year amortizations. So that really gives a great opportunity where you can fix the loan rate. And so again, we've got properties that have Fannie Mae loans or Freddie Mac loans on them. That loan rate is fixed. I mean, we've got one, I think, good Lord, it's 3.47%, and interest rates have gone up dramatically. So there's a good value in that as well, depending on what time frame you're in. And then the CMBS loans, again, are where those loans are commercially put together, packaged up, and sold on the open market. Now, I do want to say this, and realistically, when it comes to multifamily investment, they're looking for you to have experience. They're also looking for you to have the equivalent net worth of the loan that you're taking out. What I mean by that is if you're seeking to borrow $10 million, let's just use easy round numbers. You're buying a property for $10 million. So they're going to be willing to give you a loan, call it for $7 million. They want to see that you have a net worth of at least $7 million. Now somebody says, well, I don't have that net worth. Well, now what people do and can do is you partner together with somebody that's a more high net worth person or also that has experience, and then able to partner together, and then that helps you to qualify for the loan. And now once you qualify for the loan, then you're able to participate on loans in the future. Now, let me be clear again. They're not using your credit per se or your income per se. They're using the property to vet the actual ability of payment on the loan. But the net worth piece is a key component. If you're enjoying this video, make sure, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what you'd like to learn next. All right, next let's talk about property selection. So it's really key, the old adage in real estate, location, 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 right? That still applies because you want to be in the right location, the right demographics. What we look for and what I'm recommending to you is you want to be in a good quality MSA, and you want to be in an area where there's growth, meaning there's businesses coming to the area, there's job growth, there's demographic growth in the population, and you want to ensure that that's kind of your first set of criterion to look for. Nextly, you want to look to be in a good location within that market, right? You could be the best property in the worst block, and that's not the best place to be, right? Because if you're in the worst block, no matter how good you fix up the property, you're going to struggle to bring in those higher quality tenants that you may be trying to attract. So looking at and identifying the location is absolutely critical. And then also understanding the configuration of the property. Is it justified and user friendly for that market, right? Now, we've bought in properties that are, say, all one bedrooms. They were located in an area that was by a high density industrial area with a lot of, packing and shipping jobs and things of that nature. And there tends to be a lot of more single people that are in those type of jobs. And so property's been virtually 95, 96% all the time. So again, you want to make sure it's the right fit of the property for the right location as well. Next, let's talk about due diligence and acquisition. So there really is a need to have proper due diligence. So acquisition, first and foremost, starts with having the proper underwriting. You've got to have quality, conservative underwriting. You cannot be using fudge factor metrics, right? Like, in our underwriting, we've taken a historically conservative approach where we always cause the cap rate to rise over a multi-period, we cause the cap rate to rise in our underwriting over a multi-year period so that way it's protecting us if interest rates move up. And truthfully, in this moment in time, there's people that didn't do that. And now that interest rates have moved up as they have, as inflation has grown over the last year, they're paying a price for that. So you've got to be true in the acquisition process. And then secondly, once you find a property, and I mean, good Lord, sometimes we go through 100 to find that good one. Once you find that good one, now you have to enter into the due diligence stage. And what we do is we go to the property, we take our team, we also have a team of contractors, we walk every single unit. So if it's 250 units, every single unit. We don't just do a sample of 10%. It's every single unit you have to go through, inspect. We've got a checklist that you use to inspect all the condition of the items in the interior of the property and get a gauge for what the unit looks like, the age of the AC, the age of the water heater, all those things. We bring an electrician to check the electrical. We bring a roofer to check all of the roofing. We bring a contractor to check the foundations of the building. We bring a plumber. We snake the plumbing drain lines with a camera so that we can look in there and see what is the condition of the sewer drain lines. Those are all critical things. And now you're able to get all that information in, so we're not guessing at what needs to be done to the property. We know with absolute clarity what's going to be needed to be done, what the relative costs are, and we can go into it with confidence in that acquisition. The last stage is operations and then dispositions. Some people leave that out of the equation, but the truth of the matter is you can't just buy the property and turn it over to the property management company. You've got to have quality asset management to then begin to manage the property management. So for us, we've got a team of asset managers on our company staff every single week. And let me just say this, before there was them, there was me. I was the guy on the call every week talking to the property management. That's just the truth. So now we have a team of people that do it. But so you need to every single week be on call or on Zoom with your property manager and your regional manager, making sure that the business plan is being implemented. And first and foremost, making sure that it's been clearly articulated. We give it to them with metrics. We give it to them so that they know what the expectation is. It's clarity about what here's the current rent is, here's the expected new rent, here's the renewal rents. I mean, we don't leave anything to chance, and that's the same thing for you. Secondly, you're doing that on a weekly basis in the beginning of the process, and then as the property stabilized over 6 months to a year in terms of achieving the business plan, you could move to a bi-weekly call. Now again, we're reviewing the financials also on a monthly basis and going over that on the weekly call to ensure that the key objectives are being hit. And then we're also overseeing and managing the renovation process. So we're bringing in multiple bids for the roof, for the painting, for the interior renovations that we may be doing at scale. So all these things are a critical component to your operations. Lastly, let's talk about dispositions. So dispositions is the key part, right? You've done all this great work, you've got the property, you've executed your plan through the acquisition, then the operations, and now it's time for dispositions. You have to have the right broker that's working with you to maximize your sale, to give it maximum exposure. You also want to work together with them in conjunction before the sale to prepare the property for it. You're working together to construct your finances in the most optimum way for the property. You're trying to maximize the income and reduce expenses in preparation for the property to be listed and marketed. And then now you've got the right broker that is a specialist in that market, in that area. You don't want to work with somebody that's not going to give you the maximum exposure. And then from there, that process usually takes you about a 30 to 45 day marketing period. And then once you get offers coming in, then from there you'll go to a highest and best scenario where you can have the top three come in and have them compete. And look, even in today's market, right? Like we've sold in 2023 probably 6 properties so far this year because we've reached the business plan, and we've been in situations where we have multiple parties with highest and best, even in today's market with elevated interest rates. So what I'm telling you applies today, it applies last year, and it's going to apply in the years to come. Well, I know this surely was a lot, and you're not wrong if you're thinking that. There's a good bit that goes into acquiring and operating successfully multifamily. So now, and if you're saying, hey, Randy, that might be a little bit too much for me, the other option to look at is investing in syndication or funds. And that's where a company like ours comes in, where you can actually join in with us and participate in all the benefits and not have to go through all of that work. So if you want to find out more about how you can participate and get the same strong investment returns in multifamily, but without having to do all that work, click on the link below and you can fill out the form to become part of our investor club, and you'll actually be the first to be notified about off-market properties that we're working with. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.